much for coming along. Don't look at my copious notes. I got a bit nervous, so I thought I'd write down what I had to say. But so yeah, don't get nervous. None of it will probably get said. But anyway, you're very welcome to Manley Sailing. I'm Anne Stockdale, and this is my husband Chris. And together we run Manley Sailing. Manley Sailing is a sailing experiences company. So while we are based here at Manley Yacht Club and we run the sailing school here, we do a lot more other things other than that. Before I go on, I have to say, seeing as we started with show and tell, not only have we brought your thing and the crystals and the agreement, we brought 2 boats, which we would love you to go and look at, by the way, when we finish talking. So behind you here is one of our kids sailing boats, which we teach kids to sail. Teach kids to sailing. And at the end of the wharf is one of our bigger yachts, which we do tri-sailing trips in and charters.
Can't see a thing.
Not so fun. Chris would love to just take you down and have a look. Hop on board, you're welcome to, or don't bother if you don't want
what
to.
What sort of boat is the little one?
The little one's an Optimist. So we teach 7 to 14-year-olds in those.
Yeah.
And bigger boats are Catalina 34. Yeah. So we have the sailing school in which we teach adults and children to sail. We do corporate events where we use boats like the one at the end of the wharf and others the same size and bigger, and we get large groups to come. We divide them into teams and do match racing on the harbour. We have tri-sailing trips, which is your door prize this evening, which are really a nice sailing trip on Sydney Harbour. You can bring the champagne and the nibbles, or you can get stuck in and get involved in sailing the boat. It's entirely up to you. We always have people who want to do either or, and they last for 3 hours on the harbour. We also are launching a brand new product this month called Sailing Mums with Carly from WizKids, whereby we are going to teach. It doesn't have to be focused on mums, but we want to offer mums the opportunity that they can go and do something like learn to sail and still bring the mum along and not be too far away. So Carly's going to provide childcare upstairs here at the yacht club while we take the mum sailing, and they'll never be too far away. Which, believe I've forgotten our other products because I've just seen all these faces. Yes, and the other big thing we do is we also take people racing. When you learn to sail, the best way to continue on sailing is to get involved in yacht racing. We have really strong ties with this club, and we often put our students in touch with this club to crew. But when you do club racing around Sydney particularly, you have to be in the know to get on a boat to go to a big regatta. So there are some fabulous regattas around Australia, particularly Hamilton Island, Queensland, and if you don't know someone and you haven't turned up all day, every day for the last year, you're not going to get to go. So we have provided a means that we take people pay us individually to come with us and compete at these regattas. And that's been extremely successful for us because people don't have to have the commitment, but they can still go and be a rock star. So we love it. It's been massively popular for us. How did we start? Well, Chris had worked in the sailing industry all his life, and he wanted to work for himself. And I was in a corporate job, and I was working 15, 20-hour days, and things were pretty tough.
I never did that.
Chris has never worked that way.
So we started to believe that if we worked as hard for ourselves as we did for other people, then if not better off, then we'd certainly be a lot happier. So I quit the corporate job. He kept his hand in, thank God, with the other jobs for a while. And we started up with the corporate events only. That's what we started doing. And we started tailoring specifically to corporate groups. I'm going to talk about that a bit more later on as to what we do there. Then we got into the racing. We saw the gap in the market to get people to go racing. So we started to do that in about 2007. And we continued to do that until early 2010 when we were offered the opportunity to tender here for the sailing school. And we had a discussion with someone earlier about your first couple of years in business and how hard they can be. So we did have that whole conversation of, do we really want to do this? Or if we do this, we'll commit to it. It's a full-on, it's permanent. And we decided we'd go for it. And the sailing school has been fantastically successful for us. We're very, very happy we did it. And then obviously we are in a very seasonal business, so we started to look for ways to expand our business. So we now do things like tri-sailing and mum sailing and more racing, and we're constantly looking for new ways to expand our business. A good example is you were saying you're going to Sanctuary Cove Boat Show. We were there last May. We have, if anyone's from Manly, you'll know that there's a parasailing company that goes out of Manly Wharf all the time. Well, they actually are the only people who design and make parasails in the Southern Hemisphere. So we've teamed up with them and we've designed and made a parasail. Essentially it's a parasail, it's called a sail chute for yachts and catamarans, for large boats that can allow you to sail dead downwind. If you're into sailing, that's a good thing. So we try and diversify all the time and try and increase how we can maximise our business and how we can extend it. We do have actually very close ties with this yacht club. We lease our office from them, and we actually had to tender to them to work here. So there are certain things that we had to do in order to be able to work here. We had to teach kids, and we had to be a Yachting Australia Associated Sailing School. That was pretty much what we had to do. They also said they would really like if we could get them some crew, because crew are, you know, sometimes there's stacks, sometimes there's none. So we said, oh, we'll do our best. We have the most wonderful relation with the yacht club. I don't think I'm wrong in saying they would hate to see us leave, because we've been single-handedly responsible for reviving junior sailing here by running a sailing school for kids between the ages of 7 and 14, and by doing kids camps, which Maeve is one of our assistant sailing instructors with, and is great rapport with kids, I must say. What they do is they learn with us, and then once they've graduated from our school, we feed them into the Manly Yacht Club sailing program, and they continue on sailing, and they start to learn to race, and before you know it, we suddenly have a bigger division. And it's come on from having no one sailing at this club 2 years ago, no junior sailing at this club 2 years ago, to having 30 junior members in 2 years. So at least to say they're pretty happy with us, which is great. We love to get young people involved in the sport and bring them forward. The biggest part of our business at the sailing school, however, is the adults. We teach adults of any age, and we generally run courses on weekends because that's when most people want to do them. And we teach anything from basic beginners all the way up to whatever they want to do. We do set courses that are Yachting Australia certified, so at the end of the course you get a certificate from Yachting Australia. But we also do private coaching. So we might have a guy who's got a boat out there who's doing really badly and he's racing and wants a bit of coaching on whatever aspect it is. So we'll send Chris usually out to do that with him. And we often do charter preparation course. So if you're going to charter a boat on Sundays and we'll say one person on the boat is able to sail, someone might get a bit nervous and go, well, you know, I think I'd like to know a bit before we go, and we get a lot of those people coming to us. So we just tailor everything to our customer pretty much. Sailing is a pretty fickle business. This weather, for example, has been difficult. You love rain, we hate rain. So we're constantly looking for ways to expand, which is why we moved into our tri-sailing product. And we started this last year and it's been moderately successful for us. But we're in the first year of doing it, and we hope we can just grow and grow. And this is essentially a tourist product. We do big business in friends and family visiting Sydney. So you live up the road here in Manly and mum and dad are coming out from the UK and you want to do something special with them. Send them on a sailing trip. It's just 3 hours. You don't actually have to do anything if you don't want to, but if you do want to, all of our skippers are sailing instructors, so they'll show you the ropes, literally. As I say, the product's been slow to kick off, but it is growing and growing. There's a lot of people on this harbour that do it, but we're the only people up here that do. And one of our huge wins this week, in fact today, has been we've been taken on by Red Balloon as a supplier.
Yeah.
It's a sorry, Red Balloon. They're an events gift certificate, so for experiences. Who works in the business? Oh yes, on that trial sailing trip, by the way, we do have some folders here with all of our brochures in them, but in each one of those folders is a discount voucher for all of you for a 20% discount off a tri sailing trip. So if you do have friends or family or even want to try it yourselves, don't forget to use that. Mainly Chris and I work in the business. Pretty much it's our baby and we are absolutely passionate about it, and we find it hard not to talk about it all the time. We've just been on holiday. Guess where we've been on holiday? Port Stevens at a sailing regatta. And we're just back and we're driving down the freeway and we're going, okay, when we cross the Mooney Bridge, no more talking about work. Okay, when we get to the next corner, no more talking about work. But we're very passionate about it and it's what we love to do, and we think that comes across with our customers because we just put our all into it. We don't have any full-time employees besides ourselves. Nobody in the sailing industry really does. The bigger companies might have 1 or 2 full-time employees, but generally it's a casual employment industry. So all of our instructors and our skippers are self-employed and they all have their own ABNs and we contract them individually. We generally have a pool that we use all the time. We build up a relationship with them because one of the things about manly sailing that's really important is how we portray ourselves to the customer. We are all about the customer, so we generally use the same people over and over again. Sometimes we have to use more outside people, but it's a good industry in this harbour, as everyone pretty much knows who's who does what. So you've got a fair idea. If you've got you don't hire the guys that you hear stories about. You know, you've got a fair idea of who's who, and we try and use the same people over and over. We're starting to recognise that we need a salesperson. The thing about Chris does all the water stuff. He does a lot of the instruction, a lot of the skippering. He maintains the boats, he looks after them. I do everything in the office: marketing, the accounts, the finance, the phone calls, cleaning. I hoovered that office today, by the way. I'm very impressed. Carly was here with a meeting with me last week and she went, it doesn't look like the same place. So it's pretty much down to the two of us, and we're starting to recognise that we can't do everything ourselves, and it's about time. Something's got to give, and the sales side of it is what's got to give. Generally open Wednesday to Sunday, and we try and take Mondays and Tuesdays off. Doesn't always work. Generally what happens is we take Mondays off, we do a few jobs at home, and then I go, I've just got to run to the office. Just got to run to the office. In winter we work 7 days a week. Or sorry, in summer we work 7 days a week, particularly in our high season, and our high season runs pretty much through from November to February. In winter we close in July and August, but that's so we can take our customers racing in Queensland and overseas and all of that, so we have to shut down in order to be able to go away, and it's good for us to actually get away from the business as well and to have a bit of a break. What's unique about our business? We have an incredible amount of competition on this harbour, and everyone that works on this harbour knows everyone else. It's a very, very small industry and it's a very small community. So everyone knows who's doing what and who's hiring whom and what boats are they knowing. So not only do we have competitors, but we have competitors pretty much know when we sneezed. So it's very important for us to try and stay ahead of the game. Sailing schools are 2 a penny, charter companies are 2 a penny, and everyone's running corporate events, so we have to be different. The way we are different, particularly on the corporate side of things, is that we are all about our customer. We are very, very much about our customer. If a PA rings us up, and our target customer for corporate events is the executive PA, she rings us up and says, boss has told me to get an activity in Manly. She has an entire conference to organise. She does not want to be worried about 3 hours of it. So we ask her what our budget is, what the message to come across, what the intention is, and we're going to leave it to us. You do not have to worry about a thing. We don't leave it there though, because we know she's going to worry, because the boss is going to come back in a couple of weeks' time and go, did you organise that and talk the details? So we stay constantly in touch with her with emails, updates, itineraries. We answer every question promptly. We answer every phone call promptly. We return every phone call promptly. And that actually makes us stand out from our competitors, who actually just say, you can do this for this amount of money, book it in, end of story. So that does make us stand out, and we constantly get repeat business from the people who come to us because they get that experience over and over. We go the extra mile for our customer as well. We've both worked all over the world, and the one thing that we've brought back that is a bit lacking in Sydney, in our industry, is customer service.
It's all industries in Sydney.
Yeah.
It's a silly thing. You know, if you go to a restaurant, the waiter looks down his nose at you if you ask for extra parmesan. Your barista might go, oh, my coffee's not burnt, you know. It's the same thing all over Sydney. And sailing is that. There is this little superiority and a bit laissez-faire attitude. When our instructors come to work for us, We do a safety briefing, we do a training, we do an induction, and then we give them one sentence. It's not about you, it's about them. And if it ever becomes about you, you won't work for us again. It's all about our customer, and thankfully we have a fabulous bunch of instructors who understand that and actually love working in a place where that is the key message. So they go out and they make sure that the customer is having a great time and make sure that people come back with a smile on their face. Because when people go sailing, it's new to them. It's a new scary thing to try. It's not like they're buying a coffee and they're trying a new coffee shop. They're trying something that takes them out of their comfort zone. So it's our job to put them not only straight back into their comfort zone, but close the trap door on top and make sure they're nice and snug in there. So absolutely, we're all about our customer. We want happy, happy customers. That's what our job is. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun experience. It's exciting. And we love working in this industry. Like you said, Diane, it has its downsides. It's not glamorous. There's a lot of salt in the hole, for example. But it's fun. It's exciting, and it's good to do. So that's what our customers get, and that's what makes us very unique in Sydney. Our target market is pretty wide-ranging because of all those different segments that we do. We have different markets. For our sailing school, for our adult sailing, it's generally people the age about 30 to 65. Generally, they are single or don't have a family, purely because they have the time to come down here on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. So for that reason, we've started up Sailing Mums to offer midweek sailing and childcare in order to be able to facilitate people who really like to do it but just don't have the means to do it because you need someone to mind the boat. Or a lot of people ring us up and would love to do midweek sailing because I work shifts and things like that, so it's to cover that market. Our target market for the kids is also adults from 35, actually 35 to 85, because the kids don't decide they want to go sailing, the parents do. And young parents wanting to get their kids into sailing, or funnily enough, grandparents. I get an incredible amount of bookings from grandparents, and then secondary phone calls from mum checking up on what did you just book my child into. So yeah, they are my target market as well. They're who we focus on. For the corporates, it is the executive PA. For the racing, it's people who already sail already, but want to go and extend themselves, do something exciting from the adventure. It's very much an adventure to go on a big trip like that, so people want to step out of their comfort zone a little bit. And the other thing is that it's a seasonal business, so we are constantly looking for ways to stretch out our season. Traditionally, a few years ago, would you agree with this, when we started, the season ran from October to Easter Sunday. And that was it. Nobody in Sydney would go outside, will choose to go outside, or choose an outdoor activity after Easter Sunday. Or at least that's the way it appeared to us, because phone calls used to stop. I think that's extended over the last few years. We're not sure why, but I think a lot of people are thinking, oh well, we live in a beautiful place and you know it's as good to be out in the harbour on a winter's day as a summer day, so let's give it a go. So it is stretching a bit longer, and we are managing September to June now, but we do need to try and push that season out all the time. What are we going to achieve? Well, we definitely want to be the #1 sailing business on the northern beaches. We want to be the company of choice for corporate activity. If you're going to have a conference in Manly, we want you automatically to think about coming sailing with Manly Sailing. We would love to be the biggest sailing school on this side of Sydney. We're actually quite lucky in that there are many, many sailing schools down on the eastern shore, but there are about 3 or 4 up on this side, and we all know each other well and we all work together very well. And we're in talks with one of those sailing schools. They do a lot of very serious courses that people who want to have a career in yachting, as well as doing the basic ones. So we're in talks with one of those companies to actually take their basic business and give them our serious business, which will expand our customer market all over the North Shore, which would be fantastic. And ultimately, I won't say world domination, but definitely Sydney Harbour domination. I want to be the #1 Sydney sailing company. So,
She's not angry.
guys, one other thing I should have mentioned is we are based in this beautiful yacht club, and upstairs is Manly Yacht Club, but it's actually an empty venue. So this is another thing that we have to add to our corporate events, is you can actually hire this venue. So we also can provide and have provided a place for someone to have their conference, bring in caterers, and then go out sailing. So when we're finished here, we'd love you to have a look around. Maeve would happily show you upstairs. please go into our gorgeous office. We have tried
it's
to make it
rainfall.
very customer focused. We have stuck the most amazing amount of crap up on the walls. And some of it's interesting and some of it you'll probably look at it and go, what? But do go in and have a look. And Chris would love to show you the boat if you're interested in having a look at the boat. And in the meantime, thank you very much.
If sailing up and down all the time is kind of your work and play, what do you do to get away? Do you go inland?
Yes, we do. And funnily enough, when someone mentioned the Jillaroo course, yes, both of us went, yes, oh, I'd do that. Sailors, we like to go in, and we're just planning our next holiday when we're in an off season before we go racing, and we're actually hoping to go in and have a tour around Outback New South Wales and do a bit of a drive and things like that. So
I'd rather go somewhere.
but he'd like to go sailing. We just sail for a pastime an awful lot as well.
Kristen's spent 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Any other questions?
Our kids sailing courses, are they Saturday mornings?
They're Saturday mornings, so they're 2 hours on a Saturday morning. We don't run them in winter because the water temperature is fine, but the air temperature gets really cold. So the kids, they get wet because they tip out of these all the time. That's part of the fun. They like this after half an hour, so we don't run in winter, but we run October through to, we've just finished some, we've end of April school holidays. Yeah. There's such a joy in being, we start them off on the beach over there so that they always have land to come back to, so they feel comfortable. And you know, they're a bit nervous, they're always a bit nervous the first couple of days, and I think maybe you'll agree, but there's such a joy, watch them take off, and they're doing this and looking and yelling, starboard, and going, do you know what that means? No. But I heard Dad yelling it.
People own their own as well, or you only...
No, we have the club boats. We only use club boats, which we have 20 boats. And
So is there a wait list?
no, they just can come and join up, and yeah, it's really open. And this club is wonderful for junior sailing, as I say, the club is getting going, and then really, I will say that we are about kids having fun in boats. You mentioned there's a sailing school next door. They're about training Olympic champions,
Yeah.
which is absolutely
Which
fine.
is absolutely fine, but not everybody's
Absolutely
into that. My
fine.
son quit.